Hello, my name is Cassandra Bovary. Today I want us to look at a topic in research, sampling techniques. So one thing that you should understand before we even go any further is that the process of selecting a sample or a group from a larger group, which in this case we are calling a population, whereby you have an intention to use that sample in your research, is what is referred to as sampling. So you have a sample, which you can consider as one or a group, and then you also have a population where you are picking your sample from. And then that sample that you're going to get, you're going to use it in your research. Now, how many types of sampling techniques do we have? We have two types of sampling techniques. The first one to be probability sampling, and the second one to be non-probability sampling. So under probability sampling, the first one that I'm going to look at is simple random sampling. Now, under simple random sampling, every member of the population has got equal chances of being selected. So if you pick any population, every member has got equal chances of what? Being selected. What is the process? The procedure is that you can use random number generators or draw lots to select participants. Then, what is the advantage of simple random sampling? The first advantage is obviously is that there are no biases. Minimizes on what? Bias. Then the second one is that it's very easy to understand and implement. The disadvantage is that since you are considering a population, it requires a complete list of the population, which can be difficult to obtain. You can imagine, for example, you pick on a specific community. It will mean you have to record the names of all the people that are under that community. The second one we are looking at under probability sampling is systematic sampling. Selection of every nth member from a list of a population. So you can have a sequence or a series that you are following. For example, you get a population, then you say after this length or after this number, I'll be picking my sample. What is the procedure? The process is that choose a starting point at random, then select every nth term. For example, I have a population of 2,000. These are individuals that we are looking at. Then what I would do is that I will start from the number 5. Then I will say every after 5, I'll be picking a sample up to the population that I had set. What is the advantage? The advantage is that it's simple and quick and ensures even coverage of the population. What is the disadvantage? It can introduce bias. You can imagine 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. All right, we proceed. So there is also what is known as stratified sampling. What is stratified sampling? So stratified sampling, the population, which in this case is the larger group, is divided into subgroups. In this case, we are going to call them stratas. After you divide the population into these stratas, then you're going to use what is known as simple random sampling to pick your sample. The process, identify the strata. So start by coming up with your strata, then use simple random sampling to get your sample. What are the advantages? It ensures representation of all the groups, increases precision. The disadvantage is that it requires detailed knowledge of the population and more complex to administer. All right, we proceed. So these are very simple things to consider, especially when you're handling with your research. Then there is also what is known as cluster sampling. Under cluster sampling, we're simply saying the population is divided into clusters, some of which are randomly selected, and all members of the chosen clusters are included in the sample. In case you have a question to say, what is the difference between cluster sampling and probability sampling? Please, we are saying under stratified sampling, you're dividing your population into stratas, after which you're going to use what? Random sampling to pick your samples. But under cluster sampling, you divide your population into what is known as clusters. But then you include those clusters in your as what? As your sample. All right. Okay, let's go to non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling, the first one is going to be convenience. Convenience sampling. Convenience sampling, selection is based on easy access or availability. You say, I'm going to use this sample because it's next to me, or this is what I can use, or this is what available. All right. Then, when you come to think of it, one of the advantages of convenience sampling is that it is very quick. You can act faster when picking your sample. And then the second thing is that it's not even expensive. You're using what is convenient for you. Then the disadvantage is that it increases bias. Oh boy, because you're only going to use samples that are convenient for you. So there will be what is known as bias in it. Again, we are looking at snowballing or snowball sampling, where existing study subjects recruit future subjects from among their acquaintances. For example, you are doing a research on pregnant ladies or pregnant women, and then you're going to have one sample, in this case, a pregnant woman, who is going to be referring you to the other pregnant ladies, especially if you don't know the kind of community that you're dealing with. So these participants are going to recruit themselves. What is the process? Start with a few participants, who then will refer you to others. What is the advantage? Useful for hard to reach or hidden population. You can be doing a population on, so you can be doing a research on maybe old people between the age of 90 and 100. It's going to be very difficult for you to find. So you are going to have access to maybe one or two who in turn will recruit other participants. Purposive sampling from the weight papers, my intention. So selection based on the research judgment about which subject will be most useful or represented. I intentionally want to use girls between the age of 15 and 20. So you're going to base your sampling on the papers. I'm doing a research on gender-based violence. My focus, my papers will be on women, especially in the case of Zambia. Very less concentration will be given to what? To men. So purposive sampling, you focus, your intention is on what? On a specific group of people, because that is what you intend to use in your research. Okay, then last but not the least, voluntary response sampling. Participants self-select into the study. They just recruit themselves. Oh, me, I would love to be part of this research, and therefore I've recruited myself. Amongst the people that we're going to use, this is what I'm going to do as well. Then what is the process? You invite people to participate, and those who choose to respond are included. You don't include everybody. Okay. Then what is the advantage? Easy to administer because people are available. Then it's most useful for exploratory research. What is the disadvantage? The risk of bias, as those volunteer may differ significantly from those who do not want. Thank you very much. Please, these are not the only sampling techniques that we have. There are others, but then I just chose to do these. Thank you.